Dylan, all right, we are looking great here. Excellent. Let me see. I was reading through your text, and yeah, no, there was no questions, but um, I agree. I agree. This is a good logo. I think adds a little pop of color down there. The only problem is that right now that this portion of the logo is a little bit difficult to read, where it says resort and spa. So you might consider experimenting with different logos just to make sure that the entire logo is visible. It's kind of tough right now because it's a transparent logo. There are some versions. Remember that version of the logo with the here, let's go ahead and jump over there and take a look. There are some versions that don't have transparent backgrounds. This one and this one. The rest have transparent backgrounds. So you might consider using one of these two, maybe the purple one. Um, but that's up to you. So go ahead and experiment. See if you can improve the visibility of the entire logo, not just the main part of the logo, but that resort and spa specifically. Okay, this looks great. Good job. This purple box right now, it's creating a little bit of a degree of separation. Whenever you place type in a box within a composition, it's indicating to the viewer that is a, it's a separate from the. That's not a good way to explain it. The best way to explain it is this: when you place boxes behind text, you're reducing the harmony of the relationship between the text and the background image. It's which the ideal situation is for you to be able to incorporate the type right into the image, as we can see, as you've done right here. It's really harmonious. But this just kind of adds this very heavy weight right there, and it reduces the overall harmony of the piece. Now it does draw attention to this area, but too much so. Like the first thing we do is we jump right there, adventure with us. And the thing is that this is so visually heavy and so pronounced as an area that has got more hierarchy than the others, that the viewer might tend to just look up here and then look away from the ad. By adding the type right on top of the image, you're going to reduce the possibility that the viewer do that, because the viewer isn't going to get stuck right here. They're going to move right through the type, and they're going to take the whole ad in at the same time. So they're going to take in the type and the image for an overall experience, as opposed to just getting caught up on the type. Does that make sense? So my recommendation is to remove that purple background. Now, the problem, of course, is that the type might not be as legible as you want. So if that's the case, one of the things you can do is just really reduce the heck out of the opacity for that purple background, so that you can see transparency, you can see the image through, but it's still preserving the readability. Does that make sense? Okay, and you know what? We see that technique demonstrated in class. I'm going to go to the course announcements, and we can see that demonstrated right here. See that, how that's gradated right there? Just add this little gradient right here, and you see how the text is now visible. So if we were to place this text over the actual image itself, it wouldn't be visible. But as opposed to putting a big solid box, you're just kind of doing this gradated treatment, right? And I think that's going to work out much more effectively than just solid box. Okay, the other thing is the cake. Yes, the cake. Definitely want to add a plate to that cake. Otherwise, it's just not visible. It's really hard to determine what that is. It looks like it's almost part of that cliff right there, those rocks. You see what I'm saying? So my recommendation is to remove this contact information right here. We don't need this. We don't need the telephone number or the website. The reason being, the telephone number we don't need, because it's not likely that a viewer is going to view a banner on the computer and then move to their telephone to make a phone call. And the same thing with the website. The viewers know, they just click on the banner and it's going to take them to the website where they'll have access to all pertinent information, right? So my recommendation is just to take this right out of there. And then right up here in this corner in small type purple, just say located in beautiful USVI or something like that, located in St. Thomas, Virgin Islands, something like that, right? And that'll even give you a little bit more room to spacing to work this and to get your most advantageous legibility therein. Okay, and my final recommendation is this: is the animation looks great, right? right? It's working out fantastic. But the only thing is that when it disappears, it's completely gone. And plus that abrupt disappear, that we could promote more relaxed setting if we were to fade it in and then fade it back out instead of fade it in and blink it out. You see what I'm saying? So fade it in and then fade it back out. But when you start, it should never be invisible. It should never be completely invisible. It should always have partial visibility. That way, if the viewer looks at it when it's in its lowest state, they won't miss it. So right now, right there, that text is invisible. So if the viewer looks at the banner that moment, right now, they're going to miss that, right? Because remember, viewers look at a banner only for a moment and before they decide if they're going to look away. So if they decide to look away before they see that, if that text isn't there, they'll miss the entire promotion. Do you see what I'm saying? Okay. Other than that, I think we're looking great. So, oh, don't forget Arial. Well, this is technically a headline. This is technically a subhead. So Arial bold for the headline, Arial bold italic for the subhead, right? And then Arial regular for body copy. That's set in italic. So you want to check that. All right, fantastic. Thank you very much, Dylan. If you have any questions, oh, by the way, let's go ahead and make those final changes for our final submission, which is due coming up next week, week 7. So that's happening quickly. So let's go ahead and make those changes. And of course, if you have any questions, just please let me know. I'll be glad to make any recommendations therein or clarify anything I've said in the last 7 minutes or so. Okay, great job, Dylan. Thank you very much.